Hey guys, so this is my first video that I'm going to make for YouTube. I've always wanted to make a video for this platform, so I feel like this is an exciting new opportunity for me. One of the things that I wanted to do was I've worked in the tech community for 15 years now, most of it based in PHP. So with the YouTube channel and subsequent videos, I'm going to grow on the PHP knowledge that I've acquired throughout the years, and then also hopefully get a little bit more into a framework called Vue JS, which is a JavaScript framework, and get more into JavaScript development. So welcome, and let's dive right in because we actually have quite a bit of stuff to get through, and if we get stuck, then I'll just fill in some of the time. So the goal for this video is going to be getting Node installed and getting everything up and running to where we have our very first Hello World Vue JS application. So to kick things off, you're going to want to go to Google download Node, N-O-D-E, and it should come to a page similar to this. I'm on a Windows machine, so I chose the 64-bit installer over here. And I'm just going to kick that off in the meantime. So we're going to open that up for the Windows installer. And if you've ever installed anything on Windows before, it's very much the same thing. You know, you have to accept. And basically, we're just going to accept all the defaults because really don't need to mess around with this too much. So while this is running, I'm going to talk about, like, obviously, Node is a JavaScript server. Oh, need to say yes to one of the devices. There we go. And it's so Node is a JavaScript server, and there's a Windows installer, Mac OS installer, Linux. You know, you can do things through the command line. So first step, download and install Node, and download it and install it however you do for your operating system. And let's just pop over here to VS Code. One second. That's a different container. Yeah, VS Code. Where are you, buddy? There you are. Okay, so we're going to go to VS Code, and we're going to go to New Terminal. And I'm going to explain a little bit. VS Code is my IDE. This is the integrated development environment that I choose to use. You can use any one that you really want to, but this is a really good, free, flexible IDE to use for development. And what we're going to do is we're going to check that the installation that we did in step 1 actually completed. So what we're going to do is we're going to type node and then -v, which should give us version number. And it says Node is not a application that it is familiar with. So let's just close this terminal, close the application, let's just reopen it and see what we get then. So I'm going to use the hotkey to open up the terminal, Node-V. Okay, and now we get the Node version 16, which is great. Okay, so the next step we need to do is we need to install the Vue CLI. I'm just going to close this guy because this is for a different video actually. There you go. All right, so now what we need to do is install the Vue CLI, and to do that we're going to use npm, which is Node Package Manager, and we're going to say install, and we're going to do this globally, so basically it's going to just exist on our machine everywhere we go, @vue/CLI. And then we're going to hit enter, and this is going to take it a while, so I'm going to talk through a little bit of what we just did. So Node is a JavaScript server, and then npm is a package manager. It stands for Node Package Manager. And you know, a package manager basically, kind of sort of like the name implies, allows you to install stuff on your machine, keep track of what is there, upgrade some of the stuff. And specifically, Node has npm, and then I think Yarn is the other one, but I could be mixing up my Linux stuff. So we're going to do, okay, so now that we have our Vue installed, our Vue CLI installed, which is important for us because we're going to use that to actually check. We're actually going to use the Vue CLI to interact with Vue.js. So we're going to check that it's installed. So we're going to do Vue --version check if the version number is good, which it is. The first time I installed this, I actually had a little bit of difficulty here. I did get an error that said that the files were not accessible, and I think that basically the command that I ran is still in place even though I've uninstalled everything. But in case you do have the problem that I did, where you install it and you're like, oh, okay, and Vue CLI is not working, there was another command that I ran that was this one: Set-ExecutionPolicy -scope CurrentUser Set-ExecutionPolicy unrestricted. So don't get too worried if you get an error when you try to use the Vue CLI the first time on Windows. You're going to possibly encounter that. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to close your editor, in this case is VS Code. You're going to want to open it again as administrator. Then you're going to want to open up your command line again, and then you're going to want to run this command. And I'm going to put this in the description so you don't necessarily have to worry about whether or not you copied it down right now. So, okay, so now we know that we have a good Node version, we have NPM already working, and we have Vue. And so now we're going to create our first Vue application. We're going to use the default kind of sort of install, so Vue create, and then we're going to call it Hello World. You can name it anything. This is what the documentation actually has saved. So call it Vue Hello World. And this is going to take it a second, possibly. Okay. So it says that it already exists, and I'm going to choose to overwrite it. But you might get some different options when you first start this up. And pick a preset, and I'm going to pick Vue 3 with Babel, and so on and so forth. So I press the down arrow and then hit enter. And then this is going to spin around a little bit. So just to explain what we're doing, Vue JS is a front-end framework that exists on out there in the world. React JS is another very popular one. Angular kind of sort of is also in the mix with these guys. Vue JS basically allows us to create JavaScript code that'll execute in the browser and allow us to do a lot of the interactive things that you would do on like button clicks and form submits and retrieving data from the server. So it's a really cool technology, and it's really easy, as you can see, to get started and up and running. So our application is now installed, or our new Vue application is existing. So what we need to do is we need to change our directory. So we're going to change that to cd hello world, and I use the tab to fill in all that extra text, but you can type it in. But if you just type in like something like dir, let's just see what's in this directory, right? This is a good little shortcut. And if you did like node and then underscore and then you hit tab, almost every system nowadays will basically fill in the rest of the information for you. So tab to complete, basically, that's one of the things that you're going to want to remember to use. So that is looking like it's good, and we're in the application. So again, we're going to run this next command, which is npm run serve. And npm, like I said, node package manager. It also allows us to start a development server. So we're going to type that in, hit run, or hit enter, I should say. This is maybe going to take it a second if it's the first time, but as you see, it's pretty quick. So then if we go to localhost 8080, I'm just actually going to type this into the browser itself. So back over here. So we'll open up a new tab and we'll go to localhost 8080, and as you can see, the little Vue icon is already there because it already knows that I have done this before. So yeah, perfect. Look at this. Welcome to Vue JS app, and we have it up and running on our machine and all this good stuff. So, just to make sure that you have it up and running, or just to kind of sort of, let's like look around, because we got a little bit of extra time here, I think. What is it that we just did? Okay, so we installed a server node, and then we used npm, our package manager, to install the packages, or to install the Vue CLI, and the Vue CLI allowed us to create a Vue application. So if we go to, let's just go to open folder, and let's just go to, where did it go? We're gonna say that it was in Hello World, there it is. And we see that this is, so let's just do this. Just click that, let's click subfolder. Yes, I trust the authors. And you can see here it's pretty bare bones. Like we have package.json, which is related to npm. Then when it runs, it basically creates this other file that is a little bit more of like the nitty-gritty of what's going on. And if we open up the public folder, just some little icons and stuff like that. And source, we have assets and this and that. And the other thing, here we have this like kind of neat little file that says, welcome to your JS application, which as you can see is the same thing that we're seeing here in the browser. And you know, you can change this and make sure that this is actually what's running. So let's just do welcome to my Vue JS app. And I'm going to hit Control S to save. And you can install the extensions. I'm not going to install the extensions quite yet. But and then if we go back over here, we can refresh this page. And it's taking a little second to figure out what's going on. Okay, so something happened. I think that was because might have lost our terminal here. So let's do npm run serve. Starting our development server again. Bam. Okay. Let's just refresh this page. See, and there you go. Welcome to my Vue JS app. So perfect. So yeah, I mean, I know that was a little bit of a quick fly through, but as I said, this is the first video that I made for this platform, and I'm looking forward to making many more. And I hope you stick with me, and this is going to be exciting. Thank you.